right, so let's kick it off now. So welcome everyone to the Women Who Crypto webinar for tonight. I'm really looking forward to kicking this off. It will be a monthly webinar in Australia now. So my name is Dee, and it's my pleasure to host this today. And for me, the aim is to empower women to learn about crypto assets and to support women really feel empowered to use crypto assets to take control of their financial future. And we'll be hearing from a few lovely ladies later on about their crypto journey and how they got into cryptocurrency and what cryptocurrency is doing for them. But before we go there, I'd like to do a quick slideshow, which I'm going to share now. So, all right, Squid, can you allow me to share my screen, please? So I'm just getting that ready now. So, all right, so now I can share my screen, which I'm doing now. All right, so obviously we're talking about a Women Who Crypto event. Let me just, I can't make this smaller here. Yes, so my name is Dee Wakefield. I'm a digital currency specialist. I live on the Gold Coast in Australia. And my angle towards crypto is very much being crypto safe. And that is because I've got a background in security. I also have training in OSINT, which is open source intelligence that's investigating people and companies online using the internet and the deep web. And I'm also a Dacxi partner. I've been using the Dacxi exchange for quite a while now, and I'm really enjoying to learn with Dacxi, but also very much using the Dacxi exchange. Is a very easy to use Dacxi exchange, and they have a very good security rating, which is very important coming from my background. Now, before we start, I'd like to, sorry about this, for some reason I'm unable to look at this here. So that's important for the disclaimer. The information provided in this presentation does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, or any sort of advice, really. And very important that the speaker's views expressed are their own. And please conduct your own due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment. So I put together a couple of stats here, and the reason is that when we're talking about cryptocurrency or crypto assets in general, it is a very male-dominated market, and that's nothing new for women really, because when you look at the financial markets, that's very much male-dominated as well. And in a Grayscale investor studies, or Grayscale Investments is one of the largest digital asset funds. And they found that only 15% of Bitcoin investors are women. However, this number has increased, which is great. And there's certainly a surge towards that. Now, the same here is that on our overall 2020 and 21 have seen a much faster growth for women in crypto. And again, it points in the direction that women are much more involved in cryptocurrency now than they ever have been. And certainly a Women Who Crypto webinar hopefully serves that as well, because we want to empower women to get involved in cryptocurrency, learn about crypto assets, and feel very confident with that. And in the last stat here, it's that mostly women are here through a person in their network. And that's very much how I learned about Bitcoin 4 years ago as well. And I'm really glad that I did. But that is certainly something. Women are natural networkers. So that's where a lot of the interest in crypto is being sparked. And again, hopefully this webinar serves that purpose. Now, for anyone who doesn't know that much about what's going on, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's really just to show what the potential of the cryptocurrency market is. So in the first wave, the first blip that you see was in 2017 when Bitcoin had this meteoric rise and then crashed down, never to the level it was before, but it did have a huge correction. And obviously we have seen another huge rise and a subsequent correction this year. But the cryptocurrencies, even though that's growing and there's so much institutional money coming into the space, which drives the value up and the price up, this is just small in comparison of what's called tokenization. And that has a lot to do with the technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies called the blockchain. And this will actually create a much, much larger wave. And a lot of women now who do look at cryptocurrency see the potential of simply buying and holding, and by holding with all the new money, institutional money coming in, they can actually make some profit from that. Now, just going back now to our webinar with interviewing the ladies. Let me just stop this now, and I'm unsure. There it is. Now I can stop it. All right. So, all right. So, wonderful. Now, the first lady, I would love to tell us a little bit about her crypto story is Alora. If you would just unmute yourself, please.
Thanks, Dee.
Thanks. And the first question I want to ask you is just to let us know a little bit about your background before we dive a bit deeper into your crypto journey. So what's your background?
Well, my background's primarily been in health and wellness, really, since I was 17, which was only yesterday, just joking. Mm-hmm. But my passion is, I think, for the quality of life. And like I can see, you know, one of the well-known people in our life that's a great educator of crypto celebrating life. But that, to me, is our higher purpose. Whilst there are serious things to do in this world, we're here to celebrate life and live with quality of health. And so that's my background in natural therapies, holistic modalities, educating people to be empowered in that journey. Also financial freedom through being entrepreneurial and working to have more freedom and time leverage and financial leverage. That's been a passion for a long while, as well as working in counselling and coaching and things like that. So my background is really in terms of business and leverage, and my interest in financial wellness, which is an important area, right? It's not just health.
It is. It is. And was that that your interest in financial freedom also what brought you to cryptocurrency? And you know, how long have you been involved in cryptocurrency?
Well, my interest in financial freedom and that area of health was out of necessity, you know, being a single parent and looking for options that I had freedom and time and choice. So I guess I was used of exponential growth potentially and the power of community in terms of other businesses, as well as the one-to-one, you know, trading time for money. So when it came to other investments in the world, a lot of places it's very difficult to get in if you don't have a lot behind you. So I feel that when I came across crypto, I'm always pricking my ears for where's there an opportunity to empower others so they can improve the quality of their life in this area and for myself, you know, as much as everyone else around me. So that was really 7 years ago, I'd say. I came across the concept of mining and blockchain and this digital world of the future without, you know, it was just a new emerging frontier.
And so obviously you came across it quite early, because I think a lot of people 7 years ago would have had no idea about Bitcoin mining or anything. It was certainly not mainstream. So why did you stick with crypto? Why do you like crypto, and where do you think it'll go in future?
It's a good question, because I think you have to know when you're pioneering in any new area, whether it's health, you know, with new health technologies or concepts of, you know, of the mind, or in finances in this area where it's very traditional, and people, we're also programmed, and that you have to be willing to have people say, well, that's false, I don't believe it, it's a scam. And that can be with health or with wealth. So I think crypto, we all know that people, when they're uncertain, they attack it. So that's part of that J curve of that adoption phase. So for me, it was just persevering from seminar to seminar, forum to forum, listening to different companies that were presenting opportunities. And look, this is what I do, Dee, in life, and I suggest this is a great way to live, is, you know, there's always goodness everywhere in every person generally and in every scenario. So extract the truth, distill useful information out of my time and energy wherever I am, in whatever audience I am or whatever forum I am, teacher, student, otherwise, always be willing to learn. So that, I think, has been with me my whole life, a love of learning. And I think that's a healthy way to be in this space with cryptocurrency and the world, the timing we're in. So I've just been learning and watching and participating and, yeah, seeing things that work and don't work until, you know, I've come now to be a part of a very grounded, credible, reliable community where it's my foundation. And yes, there's lots of other information, but it's nice to belong in a collective group and be with other women, other men that are open to learning and sharing and supporting each other in that, like you do so beautifully too with your expertise.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Now, one other thing I'd like to talk to you about is, you know, when you did learn about cryptocurrencies, there's obviously a big difference about how Bitcoin works as a deflationary system, you know, a decentralized system versus the centralized system we have now in place with our fiat currency, the Australian dollar. So what are your thoughts on that? And was it also part of your interest in financial freedom?
Well, I guess I've been aware for 30 plus years of the game plan of the current system, that's the old system that's current, that the fiat, the printable money, if you like, the bank system and the whole structure of that. I've been aware of lots of nuances of that on a legal level, on an ethical level, and all sorts of other ways of viewing that. So it's not new for me to know that if there was ever an alternative option that could be more empowering and profitable and supportive of the planet and of people and of what we can utilise it for, and for me it's to be philanthropic personally, my interest be in this space is to be open to that. So really, I think it's comes to my passion is freedom, and the system I just mentioned really is centralized, like a centralized currency is about control, right? And even the potential new government or, you know, organizational centralized digital currencies that may come out that are being spoken of will still have that element of control. And I prefer something that's more ethical, that allows true enterprise that's there to benefit people, communities, projects, and also is more private and potentially is more rewarding. So I think with that, we know that inflation there's no limit. It's infinite, the amount of inflation that can happen in the system we've had, which devalues. And what I'm learning is that in this area, because it's a capped, the different various currencies, you know, we're talking about Bitcoin as the main leader of that space, but obviously there's many other cases. It's going to hold its value, or it's safer. It's more secure.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of education still has to happen in that realm, because the central bank digital currencies are coming, whether we like it or not, and we'll all use it. But what people, I think, are not aware is it's a replica of the already current system with the boom and bust cycles. And the amount of money, as I understand, the quantitative easing, they've printed about 200 billion in the US. We are talking about trillions and trillions of dollars. I mean, the debasement for the currency is immense. And and for me, when I learned about cryptocurrencies, what I really liked about the idea was decentralization, where everyone and no one owns it. And I think that's something new. That's certainly something that I wanted to support and be a part of and spread the word. All right, Alora, thanks so much for you being on the call tonight. And the next lady that I would like to talk to is Marie, and she is an absolute inspiration. She is advanced in age, still a crypto chick, which is absolutely fantastic. And such an inspiration. Thanks for coming on the call. If you would unmute yourself, Marie, please, so I can speak to you.
Thank you, Dee. You're very kind.
All right, Marie, let's kick it off. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Oh, my background. Because I am in the grey nomad stages of life, I have a long history. And as I've entered into the education around financial independence and freedom over the last 2.5 years, I've always had it in me, a desire to have finances grow. But of course, I did nursing when I left school and got into the health arena, and absolutely loved the caring and supporting of the sick people. Never thought I could do the education that was involved, but someone else had faith in me and pushed me into the whole training. So I became a midwife as well as a general trained nurse, and then did mothercraft. And then what always happens is you meet a man who looks like becoming your life's partner. So I married and went and lived in another country, but life does change your pathway often. So after I had my 3 sons and started to look at getting into the workforce again, found myself on the farm again, because I'm from a farming background, with my dad and my babies. And my dad was an entrepreneur, as I look back now and see his work ethics and his devotion to his visions. And after 20 years on the farm, I always was looking for an investment opportunity. But back there 30 years ago, we didn't have anything like we've got today. I just think we're in an absolutely amazing season where the opportunities are there for anybody. So we lost made a few bad investments at what was around at the time, and I only just found out the other day that it was in money trading, trading money, which I didn't even know the ins and outs, but I just thought, put my money in and it will return.
So that was in a traditional investment vehicle then, I would assume.
Yes, that was what was available. And even at that stage, we'd never heard the word scam, and a very reputable person introduced us. So you believe it. But I got through that season. I remember the awfulness of the feelings of that. But being a progressive person, bit of a pioneer, got into health, got our lives sorted out and back on the track, and then decided, well, this was life. And the dream that was inside of me all these years sort of took second place. So it was only 2.5 years ago that a very lovely friend of mine dared to introduce me to an opportunity, which in fact there was 2 opportunities, and one led me into cryptocurrency, and right on the back of that was Dacxi, which I really thought at the time I was too old because I could see the vision down the track. And we thought, 10 years, oh, wow, that's a long way. But now when I look back and I remember the arguments I had with Andrew about we need money soon, we're getting old. But along the way, sharing with many of my friends, I become enlivened again. I think I become 10 years younger.
It's amazing. That's absolutely amazing, Marie. Because one of the things that I did want to ask you regarding your crypto asset journey is very much what the challenges were. And, one of them you already mentioned, obviously, you're advanced in age, and the whole idea of educating yourself into an entire new field, that must have been quite daunting, really.
Well, I have 3 sons who are absolutely clever with the computers, and they always said, Mum, Google it. And Mum never even knew how to Google it. But I have some close younger girls, friends, who came to my house, walked me through some things. Then I told them about Dacxi, sent them a payment in Dacxi, and that was my big challenge, was the technical issues. It still is. I've got someone coming tomorrow to show me how to sort out my passwords like teachers. So the other challenge was that I found people my age were not my friend. I mixed with a lot younger crowd of people who became very interested as I shared the journey and the vision. And so that was, I don't think there's anyone that's my age that has bit the bullet, and I've shared with lots of them.
Good on you, Marie.
They're trapped in the old mindset of money in the bank and and husbands who hold purse strings.
Saying that, Marie, you're the example that there is exceptions and it is possible. And I think anyone who listens to that should understand that there is no age limit. Because especially now on where crypto is going, it makes it so easy now to get involved in cryptocurrency that literally anyone can do it. And it just takes a bit of your own education and some very basic steps, and it's very much possible. And that's the beauty about the ever-advancing crypto market now, for sure. Now, where do you see cryptocurrencies benefiting people going into the retirement? Because you did share that a part of your original motive was to be financially free. And when we first spoke, you also mentioned that you are actually well on the way of achieving that. So, and so I assume you're pretty happy with that.
But that's not enough, is it? When you have a longer term vision, last night, my husband and I decided we'd be 85 when the Olympic Games come to Brisbane. And we just look at each other, but when I was younger, 10 years is nothing. But at 85, I've seen some amazing people and they are my heroes. And I think, how good, what can we do in the next 10 years,
Awesome.
Pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marie. I really enjoyed talking to you. And again, Marie is a wonderful example of someone showing what's possible and getting involved into cryptocurrency at an advanced age. Fantastic. Well done, Marie.
Can I just share that along those lines, that it's the people you have around you that encourage you. And I really hooked on to the Dacxi education. And as I became educated more and more, and I'm a bit slow at that, but the confidence comes. And as soon as I understand something, then I can show others. So it's having that group of community, like-minded people around me that has encouraged me to push through and go an extra mile.
Thanks, Marie. Thanks. All right. Now I would love to talk to Lee. Lee, if you would come off mute, and we have a chat.
My puppy's saying hello too.
All right. Yeah, Chelsea. Lovely. All right, Lee. So yeah, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so my background, I am a single mom. I have been for 14 years. So my kids are 17 and 15 now. I own my own business. I'm in sales and marketing, and I've done that for a very long time. I had my own business for about 6.5 years. And yeah, I specialise in helping small business owners to increase their sales and improve their businesses with marketing and sales skills.
Lovely. And you're also involved in in charity work, aren't you?
I
With
am,
the Cambodian
yes, I
Kids
sit
Foundation.
on the board of the Cambodian Kids Foundation, which is a passion project of mine. I went over just before COVID, so luckily I got my volunteer trip in before the whole world was closed to us, and I'm dying to get back.
Yes, yes, well done. Let's hope it's not too far in the future.
Yeah.
Now, obviously today's Women Who Crypto webinar is all about crypto. So what's your story? How did you come across crypto?
Well, it's funny actually. The foundation was a good intro into my crypto journey. I met a coin agent who does the digital currency, and she's passionate about helping charities. So initially I was actually introduced through a digital currency, and that was my first experience with cryptocurrency, and it just opened up my whole world to all of the different possibilities out there. So then I got very curious and started asking lots of questions, and there began my crypto journey. I've been educating and back Marie up 100% with what she said there about the education that you get through Dacxi, because I've watched that many videos and done all the YouTube things and trying to do all of my due diligence. I've spoken to my financial advisor and my accountant and sort of done all of that, and I'm just loving the journey. I'm extremely excited. So like everybody else on here, I'm sure I'm really enjoying sharing that with other people, because I don't just want to benefit for myself. I want to help everybody that I know so that we can all have happy lives, happy stress-free lives in the future.
Because thanks for that. I obviously have been using the Dacxi exchange, and I was just wondering what your thoughts were when you went through the education, and also when you learned about the Dacxi coin and its use case as a token for crowdfunding.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the thing that really attracted me to Dacxi. It wasn't just another currency. It's got an amazing use case behind it. And the crowdfunding to me was what really sold the Dacxi platform to me. I mean, the platform itself is incredibly user-friendly, which I love, because I've looked at some of those other trading sites. I'm just like, holy, I don't even know where to start. Like, it's crazy. Whereas Dacxi is incredibly easy to use. So I love it for that. But then when I was watching all of the videos, and I've actually been to a number of Dacxi dinners and heard the case studies there as well about the crowdfunding and all of that kind of thing, and it really piqued my interest, because it just shows that the community is just going to get so much bigger. And not only that, but it's going to support startups in all different industries and all different walks of life. And if we think about history, I mean, there's always new ideas, there's always new concepts, and to be able to invest in those, to hear of them first and be able to invest in them and, you know, grow even more, it's really exciting.
That's one of the things that I really like about the Dacxi exchange as well, is the whole community growth that comes along with it, and being part of that community and learning about it, learning more about cryptocurrency, and also learning more about the native token, the Dacxi token on the exchange. That has helped me a lot, to grow really, and that is something I don't take for granted, because a lot of the times you have exchanges. I've used more than 10 different exchanges over the years, and the support that you get with the community and the education. That's something absolutely, it's so valuable. And I know anyone who uses the Dacxi exchange and uses the education that comes along with it and the community support is very happy with it. So one other thing, just in regards to supporting women to learn crypto. So the Dacxi exchange, this part of what you enjoy is the community mostly, right? And and the learning. Is there anything else you would like to share with women who are watching this webinar?
I think, look, for me and my personal journey, the reason that I was so attracted to learning more about cryptocurrency is because I am a single mum and I've done everything I can to support 2 children and you know, be financially okay. But when I look to retirement, and that is a while off, but I know I don't have enough money right now to retire, and I know how much I'm going to need. And I'm sort of like, where am I going to, you know, get that kind of money from? And that's when I started really looking into the cryptocurrency world, because I know that the future will be digital. It's just the way we're going. And so, you know, to get involved early and to be an early adapter and then to help share that journey, like I'm really just I want to be able to educate and help educate women to build their own financial futures, because we just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so I kind of want people to have their own confidence in their own financial journey and not just leave it to your superannuation. You know, it's probably not going to be enough. So what do? You know, and so to me, I guess my most important message to women is to at least do a little bit of self-educating. But as we've said with Dacxi, the education stuff is there. Have a look around and just make up your own decisions, but definitely have a look.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. For me, also, looking at the traditional markets, they just didn't cut it anymore because of the debasement of the currency. The cycle we've been in, boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust, and so many people suffering from that. So for me, it was diversifying some of my funds into cryptocurrency was an almost natural step when I learned about cryptocurrency. And you know, I've done really, really well. When I diversified my self-managed super fund, Bitcoin was at 9,000. It was only last year. And now it's at 40,000, and you know, that was even after a correction. And because of what's happening in the cryptocurrency market, it's a really good time to look at it, educate yourself. It's not about rushing into buying cryptocurrency, but it's really about rushing to educate yourself and get knowledgeable, because now is the time.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Lee, for coming on the webinar today. And last person today is Emma. Would you please come off mute?
Hello.
Thanks, Emma, for coming to the webinar. We had a bit of a date confusion. I'm glad you made it. All right, Emma. So the topic that I also want to talk to you about a little bit is also self-managed super fund, but we'll talk a bit later in our talk about it. First thing, I wanted to know a little bit about your background and also how did you get involved with crypto assets?
Well, I'm the mother of 3 beautiful children. I'm originally from Europe, but I live in far north Queensland now, and I feel very at home here. I've had a lot of experience in the recruitment industry in London, also in Sydney, and I've also worked in the health industry. And I came to know about cryptocurrency initially because my brother invested. He works in London he works in IT in London, and he invested in Ethereum when it was about $10, and he put in a lot of money, a big chunk of his inheritance. And when he came to visit us in Australia, I think it was at the end of 2017. He was already a multi-millionaire, and I remember I was very happy for him. And I remember I kept thinking, oh look, there's because we were looking at real estate. Oh, if he wanted to, he could easily buy that place. You know, that place. It was quite a good feeling. I was impressed by the fact that he didn't get too carried away with it. He was very steady with it. And he didn't sell a lot of his coins. He held on to them. And even throughout 2018, when we saw the big crash, he held on to his coins and he didn't seem to panic. He was just very cool and calm about it all. And I asked him, why didn't you sell, or why are you holding on? And he said he had a good friend from school who invested in a lot of altcoins, and he'd watched this friend and the progression of his learning in cryptocurrency, and he'd watched his friend sell off all his coins bit by bit, just to make, whenever they went up a bit, he would sell, and slowly he ended up with nothing. If he'd held on to the coins, his friend would have been very, very rich today. But because he sold, he ended up losing out. And so that's how I got into cryptocurrency. And through watching my brother, I also learned how important it is just to be able to bide one's time and be patient and not get kind of caught up with the ups and the downs of the market, because the market.
So was that one of the biggest lessons that you learned along the way? Was that what's called hodl, holding on to your coins rather than just panic and then as soon as the market goes down a little bit, sell?
Absolutely. We own a cafe here in Far North Queensland, and we take payments in cryptocurrency, and we have a lot of people who are into cryptocurrency who come and see us because they know that's what we do. And it's very funny because whenever traders come to see us, they tell us about all their strategies and what's going to be happening and what to do about it. And you can tell there's some excitement but also anxiety, and it's great because my husband and I we don't have any of those issues because we just hold on to our crypto, so we don't really need to be too concerned about all these ups and downs.
It's excellent. One other thing that we did speak before about was self-managed super fund, because I think similar to Lee, you also use cryptocurrency for your retirement fund. So what's your experience, and why did you choose to diversify your super into cryptocurrencies?
Well, we have to thank Andrew actually for telling us that it was even possible to create a self-managed super fund. We didn't know that it was possible to do that, so we're really grateful to Andrew. He came and saw us and told us how to do it, and we decided to take control of our super, because I guess first of all, the times we're living through are very uncertain. And to be quite honest, we don't trust the government. We don't trust what we hear on the television, and we don't really deep down know. We didn't have a feeling that possibly we weren't sure whether our super would still be there in our old age.
So you took control of it.
We took control of it, yes. And also we were aware of the quantitative. My father is an accountant, and he told me about the quantitative easing, how every time they print a new dollar, the money, our savings lose value. So because the government is printing so much money, it's crazy to think of saving money in the bank, because every day it's worth less. And so we were really trying to find ways to, as you said, Dee, diversify.
Yes, diversify the risk. I think that's key nowadays, because no one says, okay, 100% into one coin. I think that would be not a very wise choice, and that's not what I would do. But there's plenty of bundle options out there. You've got really very solid coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. I mean, they all, it's a volatile market, but at the same time, it's, if you do a buy and hold, what you have now compared to what the value is going to be in five years, I think that will be quite mind-blowing to a lot of people, just because of everything's going digital, whether we like it or not. Now, so what's your perspective on where do you think crypto is going, and do you have any other words of advice for women just starting out?
Well, I do believe, like Lee, that we're moving into a digital future, whether we like it or not. I do believe that is the trend, and I believe that the governments are going to have their own digital currency. So like with everything in life, sometimes we have to go with the flow, and because of that, we may as well take advantage of those trends, and make the most of it. And I believe that everything can be used for good or for bad, both ways. So we're just going to go with it and use the profits that we've made and are going to do good, to do good. We've had quite a lot of cryptocurrency millionaires come and visit us recently at work, and a lot of them are very young. You know, they're young people, and they've made so much money that they don't have to work. They're traveling. And so it's been really lovely to talk to them about, you know, what are you going to do? Because you can only travel for so long, you know, before it starts to get a little bit boring, and you need something else. What are you going to do? And so it's been really lovely sharing with them how, you know, we work basically for the community. Everything we do is out of love for the community. And the place, our cafe, is almost like a bit of a retreat for people where they can come and talk to us about anything. And I see the cryptocurrency trend, this wave that we're riding, as a real opportunity to break out of the rat race and find deep meaning, and find something, be able to be free to do something very meaningful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, for me, I think that cryptocurrency certainly is a key for financial freedom, just with where we're going, where we're at, and people seeing more and more through the traditional financial system, and what it actually does to people. And so cryptocurrency will take on more and more of importance. And the beauty about decentralized cryptocurrency, obviously, is the fact that these are the real community coins. And anything that is about community and about networking and a more egalitarian society, you can say, it will change people, and it will change very much the society we live in. And that is what I love about decentralized cryptocurrencies. It's absolutely beautiful, and it empowers people, and that's wonderful. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for coming on the call tonight, Emma.
Thank you, Dee.
Thank you. Now, again, so we're just nearing the end now. And for me, again, the big thing really is the community, and learning together, growing together, and educating yourself about cryptocurrency. There's a huge opportunity here for everyone. It's a level playing field, which is absolutely fantastic to see. I haven't come across this since I'm alive, which is a while now. And so for me, I hope that today's webinar was of interest to you and inspired you to seriously look at crypto assets as a tool for financial freedom. And if you want to find out how to get involved with crypto assets, then speak to the person who invited you or sent you this video. And as mentioned, we will have these Women Who Crypto webinars every month. And I hope you'll join us again, and we will see you then. Bye.